Welcome to Let's Get Dumb, the podcast where I, comedian Joe Kilgallen, and comedian Jonah Jerkins like to ask dumb questions, tell dumb stories, and just have a dumb old time with you. Jonah, my friend, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Joe. I'm doing well. We're back at it again.
We're goddamn back, my friend.
I'm excited. Your beard grew to prove time has passed.
I got a little white hair. I'm aging.
Yeah.
I'm aging so dramatically. You know what's nice, though? This is, for all the listeners, you were listening to episode 1 of season 2.
Season 2.
That's
I
what
like
we're
that.
doing. We're calling this the start of
We kind of left on a
season 2.
cliffhanger, too.
We did a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah, we had some ups and downs.
You know, it was a good podcast, though.
Yeah.
I think we needed a little break.
Yeah.
I needed a little break, more so than anything. Sometimes you got to clear the old noggin and then, recharge the battery, and now we're ready to fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're ready to
Yeah.
fuck, dude.
This podcast took a turn I've been waiting for a long,
Let's
long
fuck,
time.
man.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
So,
what if we just did?
that'll probably hurt our YouTube monetization status that we're aiming for.
What if we just did above? Can you do that if you do it above the neck line? It's just that, but we're fucking. Can you do that?
Our producer
It's like a
Austin,
test.
who is back with us, of course, he's going to have to look into the X's and O's of what we can and cannot do. But it's interesting that you bring that up. There are women on TikTok. Here's what they do. So they go live on TikTok, and you could only see, they're wearing a shirt, no
Yeah.
bra, of course, but they're in the doggy style position. And I don't think they actually are getting railed, but they move back and forth like they are. And they just have music playing, and they don't even talk.
Really?
But they're live. So all these people are watching because it's like the internet's full of sad, lonely men.
Yeah.
True. Right?
Yeah.
We love you. You're
Right.
you won't be lonely forever.
Says the guy who's been watching the videos. Who knows about them?
No, because you know how I discovered them. So
I've seen your algorithm. I know how you just.
no search history here. But whenever there's a big fight,
Yeah.
whether it's UFC, boxing, whatever, if you go on live for TikTok is the best right now for it, or live on Facebook, you can find it a little bit. You can find people illegally showing the stream. So I'll go on it for that. I'm not paying to watch Nate Diaz and Jake Paul. I just can't do that in principle. Do I
Yeah.
want to see the fight though?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I very much do.
Yeah.
So you could look through the live and find it. And while you look through, you just see all sorts of different stuff. And you come across things because you're not on TikTok, so you don't get how it works.
Yeah, I get it.
They got the For You page, which they cater to the stuff you like, which
Right.
they nail, which is why people like TikTok so
Yeah,
much.
because their algorithm's through the roof, right?
Yes, exactly. It's why it's grown from 0 to 300 million, whatever the hell their number is, in such a short period of time. They have the fastest growth of any social media platform in a very tight amount of time, right? So, but then they also have shit. If you go, the live feed is a different section. So when you click live, different stuff will pop up, and some of it's just boring, and some of it will be hilarious.
Yeah.
There'll be a woman doing dishes, and her shirt is unbuttoned just enough where you're like, there's no way she's gonna be able to bend down again to pick up another plate without
yeah.
showing some nip.
Yeah.
I gotta see this. It reminds me of. Have you ever had a moment like this, Jonah, where it's a windy day and there's a woman wearing a skirt, and you're like, I think this wind is gonna do us all a favor right here. One time outside of a comedy club in downtown Chicago, it was me and a few comedians, and I go, look at this. This is very windy. This wind's going to pick up.
Yeah.
And all of us looked. It was almost like the scene in Caddyshack when the golf ball is on the edge of the hole.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the one guy's staring, watching when it's going to fall in eventually. We were all staring at this woman who's in line to go to the show, a show we were performing on next.
Right.
It's there was in between the 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock show. And then the wind finally took a gust, blew straight up. She had the thinnest thong we've ever seen on. And all of us were like, fuck yeah. We just watched Game 7. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen something like that?
Yeah.
You've seen the wind blow up a woman's dress?
Yeah, I'm an adult. I've seen that. Yeah.
I then told her afterwards, you might want to be careful. There's perverts out there. And she said, thanks for being a gentleman. I go,
Right.
no problem.
Speaking of the 7 people I'm with right now, did you guys didn't woo, and how long you been married?
This was before I was married. Okay.
Okay.
I've been married for about a decade now.
Shows.
10 years. 10
It
years.
shows.
Does it show?
It shows.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah, okay, let me tell you about the TikTok things I've seen. Okay, so there's you're like, this girl, her tit's gonna hang out. I mean, it's got to. 4 hours, I'm on board. I'm here. Kids, daddy's working. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm all the way.
I don't watch it for more than 10 seconds. I just thought
That
it
is,
was
I bet you
clever.
that's a fucking lie. You
I
know
mean,
that is a
no,
lie.
I don't. Honestly, there's nothing more to watch. I wish I could show you an example right now because you'll look at it and be like,
You know how you can show me an example? Just show me the lesson you looked at on your TikTok. That's all.
no,
I know.
I mean, TikTok doesn't have a history like that. Well, it's not YouTube. It's not YouTube.
I think we proved why you're on TikTok. No, I mean TikTok doesn't
I'm
have
on
a history.
TikTok for the great comedy, man.
Right.
All right. So look, when you click on like live right there,
Right.
it'll go to different stuff. Like, look, this
Yeah.
girl yelling at the camera, trying, and then it's just her thanking people. Another girl talking to another.
Right.
But none of this is my normal shit.
Yeah, everyone listens like, I can see exactly what he's showing us right now.
Sometimes it's magicians showing how they do stuff. It's all dumb.
Yeah.
This guy's opening packs of baseball cards up.
I do hate when you look at one thing and it just changes your algorithm forever.
Oh,
like on
that's
YouTube
the
that does that for me. Like right now, YouTube thinks that like I'm really into how to beat blackjack. It's like that's all I'm getting, and also roulette. Like they're like, if you're gonna go to play roulette, do these tricks. And I know the terms. I'm kind of forgetting them now, but like all the terms. I'm like, this is how you bet. And then they're always like, it's gonna work for a little bit, but like get the fuck out as soon as you can.
like blackjack, like double down and splitting aces.
Well,
and
it's
stuff.
more for roulette. It's like
Oh,
all
for
the
roulette. I'm
it's all
sorry.
the different. I said blackjack up front, but like it's mainly like roulette, which is all like, and that's all of my YouTube now is just like filled with that. God forbid I click on something where I'm just like Andrew Tate, and then everything, because I was like, what's going on with this Andrew Tate thing? I'll look at that, and then now it's like this guy loves Andrew Tate. And now it's like, now I feel like I got a lot of things I got to tell my girlfriend. You know what I mean? I got to hold a sword the whole time. I got to tell her that like she's got to make me some fucking sandwiches. Like it's insane how it just changes. It changes the way I think. And now,
I missed. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh no! And then it's also then I clicked on something, and now my YouTube thinks that all I want is to watch behavioral analysts analyze deposition.
Oh, like for like court testimony and shit like
Yeah,
that?
like
Or
Amber
whatever?
Heard thing. I watched a 40-minute video
Oh,
on this guy just being like, all right, let's see if she's telling the truth or not. And at the end, he goes, yeah, like there's no way to really tell if someone's actually telling the truth or lying, but like everything that's being said, it seems like it could be either or. And this is every video, and I watched 40 fucking minutes of this video where I always get to the end where it's just like, maybe, I don't know.
I hate that the vagueness of the internet sometimes. Everyone always acts like it's the greatest thing ever, the internet. And look, it's awesome. But have you ever Googled something where you're like, why won't you just tell me the fucking answer? Why do I have to then search through 40 million other goddamn things?
Right.
Like I should be able to type in how many people were murdered in Chicago in 1987. But you type that in, you know what they'll do?
And
Chicago's
are there any
murder rate.
suspects? And is Joe Kilgallen a suspect? Make sure.
You're never curious about that, and you ever type in something you feel is
of
very
course.
specific,
Oh,
but
for-
they never give you a specific answer.
Yeah.
Because their whole thing is like, here's an article about Chicago's murder rate from last year.
Yeah.
You scan the article, I'm like, it doesn't say anything that I wanted.
Right.
There should be something that fucking simple.
I know.
Fucking drives me insane, man.
Maybe go to Ask Jeeves.
Yeah, I've tried that, and Jeeves is a cunt. I
Yeah.
don't think Jeeves knows what the fuck Jeeves is doing.
He's a little fucking twat, dude.
Little piece of shit, that Jeeves.
Piece of shit, Jeeves.
Who came
Jeeves,
up with that
fuck you,
name?
Jeeves.
Yeah, someone said, ask Jeeves. This is something Americans will grab.
I can tell you that. A rich person said that.
Yeah, 'cause
He's like, whenever I
that's-
need something, just ask Jeeves.
What the fuck is Jeeves short for?
Jeeves.
Jeeves's?
It would be funny. Jeeves is probably short for like Emmanuel. You know what I mean? Like where you're just like, how the fuck did they come up with that? Like Dick and Richard? Like what?
Yeah, dude. Why the fuck? If your name is Richard, why is Dick short for Richard? That's
Yeah.
crazy. And why was that allowed?
Right.
Like, say you say the first Richard was like, hey, my name's Richard. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to call you Dick.
Are you Joseph? You're Joseph.
My full name is Joseph, yes.
Yeah.
Your full name is Jonasif.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Jonasiah is actually my full name.
What was it?
Actually, my full name is just Barry.
Did anyone ever call you Joe for short growing up?
My mom did.
Really?
That's the thing. Is like Jonah doesn't really have like a short term. Like
No,
a
it
short,
doesn't.
But Joe or John works because there's Jonah in it. There's Joe in it.
John
Nobody knows how to
does not
spell
work.
Jonah. That's the stupidest thing. Like, what name can't you spell? What's the hardest name for you to spell?
I can spell all the names. I'm not a
Really?
fucking idiot.
Michael doesn't fuck you
No,
up a little
Michael, well, Michael has two. It's Michael, or
Yeah.
it could be EAL. But
Right.
AEL is way more common.
bit? Right.
Yes.
Right.
Or
Brandon or Brendan? Brandon?
Well, there's Brandon and Brendan. Those
I know
are
there's two
different
different
names.
names.
So they get confused often. I'm trying to think of a name where when I hear it, I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm done for in there. There was some name I tried to spell the other day, and I'm like, I have no, it was like Elijah or something like that.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know where to go from here.
Like nobody knows how to spell Jonah. It's insane how dumb people are. They
J-O-
never spell it like I would think like
N-A-H,
JOENA, like Jonah. That makes sense. But like there's an S in there sometimes. There's like multiple H's. Like it's insane, and nobody knows how to pronounce it.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy that like
You just grew up around a bunch of dumb people? I mean,
say the word Joe.
I was not going to say that word.
That seemed like there was going to be a couple syllables now.
You think I was going to hit you with an R word?
I think it's going to hit with
No,
the F
I
word.
don't.
Not fuck.
Well,
I thought your South Side. I thought your Chicago Irish was coming out there
excuse
for
me.
a second.
I got a little tickle in my throat going on. I ate a bunch of chips, and I feel like I have one like lodged in my throat
Lodge
still.
in there.
You really thought I was gonna? I'm talking about dumb people, and you thought I was gonna say the FAG.
My grandma hit me with the
G
N word
word?
the other day.
Really?
Yeah, she's like 94,
Yeah, that's fine.
but like
you're
not
94,
not
it's
like at something. It's insane how like it's great. I don't know if we can talk about this or not, but
You're gonna get your grandma canceled?
no, because
Oh, okay.
she's not. It wasn't like at somebody,
Oh.
but it's just like how like in the 30s they would refer to things as N-word something. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, because my uncle was eating a bunch of nuts, and then it was just like, we used to refer to these things as N-word, like Brazilian nuts was like N-word toes, I guess, is like a thing. And which I didn't know, and then all of a sudden, like my uncle repeated it, and I'm like, "What the fuck is happening?" I brought like my girlfriend there, and I'm just like, "These are words I've never heard either of these people say." But it's like weird how that was just like, yeah, we're just saying some racist ass shit with some stuff.
Well, I mean, there's just that generation. I feel like sometimes they say things where there might not be malicious intent behind it.
I know,
But you feel because they just grew up around it.
I like. When
I remember hearing someone in their late 70s say they're talking about selling a car. I wasn't part of the conversation, but I overheard them.
Yeah.
And they were like, and from what I knew about the person and the person's family, no one would have this negative bone in their body, you know?
Right.
But she was like, oh, well, sometimes you just got to Jew them down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I remember just
know.
being like,
Jesus.
someone should tell her. But then it's also,
Yeah.
it's like Mo Welch, comedian in front of ours. She's got this great joke where someone asked her, what was it like coming out to your grandparents? And she's like, nobody comes out to their grandparents.
Right.
You just wait. You know what I mean? Like, there's no
It's like from the
sense,
tie, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you bring your girlfriend around, this is just your really good friend,
Yeah.
and you wait.
The worst is like when you're in high school and I was working at Best Buy in high school. I was like talking to, it was a nice, like younger lady, probably to me, she was old. I was 16. So she probably was like 22 or something, or like 30. And she was with her grandmother. And then I was like talking to mom, like, oh, you just have to kind of like fix this, or whatever. And then the girl's like, oh, so we'll just like jerry rig it. And then her grandmother goes, jerry rig. And she goes, do you mean N-word rig?
Oh
and
my
then
God.
she was like, grandma, we don't say that. And she goes, what's wrong with that? That's just what I've always called it. And it was like that thing where like, you can't bring like those people in,
Yeah,
in
there's
public.
some things you just can't, and you can't explain. And then when you explain why, you're like, it's offensive because there's history in that. And they just go, oh, well, I didn't mean it like that. And it's like,
yeah.
a lot of bad things have happened in
Yeah, it's
response
just-
to shit like that.
It's just kind of like, what do you think the things when we get old that we think is like normal now that like our like your grandkids are going to get embarrassed about?
I don't know about what my grandkids will get embarrassed about, but I'll tell you because I've thought about this recently, about what the next thing is where people are going to be like, I can't believe everyone just flippantly did that.
Yeah.
And that's autism jokes.
Oh yeah.
I will go to comedy shows, and I was at a stand-up comedy open mic a week or two ago.
Uh-huh.
And I remember just hearing, just casually, every other person making autism jokes. And they just talk about autism like with, oh, whatever. You could make fun of it. They're like, I dress like an autistic janitor. I do this
yeah.
and this. I remember saying to myself, like, and this is from, and most of those comics would probably consider themselves on the woker side of shit, right?
Right.
But like, I remember thinking to myself, we're a few years away from people being like, those aren't cool.
Right.
But I don't know what's going on right now that my grandkids are gonna deal with.
Like the way my girlfriend's dad gets the server's attention is kind of like, oh, you don't do that anymore. Like he does like the whole like finger thing, but like kind of like in a like a where the fuck are you doing
Oh yeah.
thing. And we had to kind of be like, well, I don't really do that anymore. Like you just sit down like a little cuck, and then they just come to you whenever they want. like listen, we're all beta bitches now, so like you don't get anybody's attention, and you better tip them 30%.
Yeah,
like no
you're in
matter
control.
what, if you're under 30%, you're a little bitch. Like.
I do judge people who don't treat servers well in a negative light.
I know.
Because
and he doesn't mean anything bad by it. He just is like trying to get their attention. He's
Well, I mean,
just-
it's different worlds. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's just like you go, hey, right over here, you wave or you do whatever. And nowadays, everyone's just kind of, because we've all seen enough. Here's the thing. Enough waiters went on to become screenwriters, and they wrote scenes in which people that don't act like an asshole to your servers.
Right.
And I think that's what happens. That's still the power of Hollywood with movies and television is you can make a change and open up people's eyes if you write from experiences they're not aware of.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Or you convince women that they want to date artist types.
that could happen too.
Right.
That could-
Or like that's the whole thing is like where you and I are upset because we can't get a girl. Well, I guess we can, but like, like
I'm married
well,
with 2 children and you're in a committed relationship.
I know, but you know, you just watch these movies where they're just like they're with like this successful guy, good looking guy, and then like this little bitch, like
Yeah.
like artistic guy is like, yeah, I wrote a song about you, and then they like get together. That's why there's no sequels to these because the sequel would just be like, dude, you got to get a job. Like this is not your band's not working. You got to figure it out. I was with a millionaire. What are you doing? Because some like guy was like, I never get
He
the girl
wrote
I
his
want, and
fantasy
wrote the whole
and turned it into a movie.
yeah. And it also teaches girls that it's okay to cheat.
Does it?
They always cheat on their fucking boyfriend with the dork.
Well, the boyfriend's such a piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit. But you gotta admit, you kind of like agree. You know that when you watch those movies, you Joe, and sometimes me Jonah are just like I kind of recognize. I kind of like see myself more as the other guy. I don't know.
Oh no, I've never rooted for the. Well, here's
You
the
never
thing.
bought somebody a shot before?
Bought somebody a shot
Yeah.
before?
They're always buying people shots.
What is? Yeah, you pick the one nice quality about the bad guy in every fucking movie
Because
that
I
they're
see
generous
myself
with
in them.
alcohol.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
just
but you're
fucking
not a
with it, yeah.
dick in all the other.
No,
ones.
I know.
These guys are always such pieces of shit. Like you see these movies where
they suck.
they're
I'm-
bullies.
I'm kidding. They
And so
suck,
that's
yeah.
why when the girl that they have, who's always so here's such a bad fucking thing in movies you see a lot. New kid at a high school.
Yeah.
Right. Jock type football players like, beat it, fucking loser.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Valley? I heard they suck dick in Valley. You look like a dick sucker, don't you, Valley boy? And then like his friend shoves him into the locker, and then there's 2 people high
The fact that
five.
you haven't been hired as this yet is insane.
I
Joe.
would be great in that role, would I not?
Coward.
I missed my boat. I didn't try to be an actor in my teens and early 20s, but I
yeah.
could have been that guy.
I know.
I could have been the guy shoving people into lockers, or I could have been the
Where you put
best
your hand
friend
hard
of that
against
guy.
the locker, where you
Yeah.
shut it like behind their back.
Yeah, they think they're gonna get hit, but it's really just my fist next to their ear.
Yeah.
Like you feel that?
Yeah.
That's power, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So here's the rest of the scenario.
You bet your girlfriend with another guy on something. Where you're
Yeah, like we have a skiing competition.
Yeah.
It's like you get one night with her if you could beat me at the K-12.
right. And for
They
some
can't
reason, the
beat me
girl's
though.
like, all right, whatever. That's what I
Yeah, I
am.
guess I gotta fuck this stranger. So yeah, they're insane, these movies. So, and they always have this too. So the main dude who's dating the hot chick, after will always be like, I'm so sorry for him. I don't know why he acts like that. He's a really good guy when he's not around his friends, right?
Right.
And then his friends always have it where they go, come on, man, ditch the stupid bitch.
Yeah.
And then they high five over it. Only in movies,
yeah.
do people high five over an insult.
Yeah.
I've never been around, dude, we're comedians. We're always shitting on each other and talking shit and having
Right.
fun, right? I've never made fun of you and then turned to Austin and been like, right? And
Yeah.
fucking high fived him.
Yeah.
That's
Bumps,
not
like a chest
realistic.
bump. Yeah.
It's chest bump over it. They're always just like, oh,
got him good. Got his ass.
And so then the girl was like, hey, I'm so sorry for my boyfriend's behavior and he's the worst, but like he's really a sweetheart and you just got to get to know him. I don't know why. And that, blah, blah, blah. Then it gets to the point where she needs a tutor. He's the tutor.
Right.
And then they eventually kiss.
Right.
And it's like, we shouldn't do this. And he's like, I'll treat him better than you.
Yeah,
You
right.
don't understand.
He doesn't
My
treat you
dad
like-
and his dad have a car dealership together. It's like
yeah.
it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'll do everything for you. You know that. And that's the thing. He's like so like, I love you so much. Everything's gonna be. It's just us forever. It's just forever. Like that's a good boyfriend you want.
Yeah.
Like it's like you find the person in the middle. That's us, Joe.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
The guy who buys the shots but doesn't shove the nerd into the locker.
Yeah, where you're like, yeah, hang out with your friends. I don't give a shit. Yeah, I trust you, that guy. I don't care.
That's
Whatever.
the script.
Yeah,
That's the script.
that's the script.
Yeah, and then when one of our friends says something dumb, it's like, "Hey, fuckhead,
Yeah.
be polite around my girlfriend."
So I'm rewatched one of my favorite shows when I was in my 20s was Friday Night Lights. I fucking love that show. It is so good. It's acted well, it's casted well, it's written well, but it still has a couple tropes that are like early aughts, like late 90s, which I love, which is just where they just kind of write it. They're like, where you're like, you're in your 20s, you can still fuck high school girls. It's cool. Like there are so many parts where it's just like the high school girl is like the waitress or server somewhere, and then she meets this traveling guy in town, and he's like, oh my God, you're so like, you're so like wise beyond your years. And they have like a one night stand at some hotel. Like that's like a normal thing. It's just insane how like everyone's like, yeah, I mean, that's cool.
Well, that's the other side of screenwriters too.
Yeah,
I want
right.
to fuck high school girls.
Right?
And slide that in there.
Yeah, because they never got to fuck high school girls.
Exactly.
Right.
So now they get to fuck them through their fantasy worlds that they create.
Yeah.
Well, that's what part of what's cool about movies and TV shows in general is that it's like an escape thing. I told someone recently, I'm like, hey, dude, the first 3 or 4 seasons of the show Entourage were great because it was like, you'd imagine if I was a movie star and I could take my friends along for the ride, that's the kind of fun we'd have.
Yeah.
That show went downhill when the star, Vinny Chase, that's the character, he wasn't getting work anymore. He did that movie Medellin that bombed. He did another role that everyone said he was terrible in. And it's like, I don't want to see him as a loser.
Yeah.
That's why people started to hate that show in the middle of it. And then it came back a little.
You got Aquaman.
No, when he got Aquaman, it was great.
Yeah.
We're talking about after
Oh, yeah.
he did Medellin and
yeah.
all that stuff. And like, it was like, dude, this isn't fun. I want to imagine what it's like to be awesome and rich and famous with my friends. I don't want to be I'm a loser in real life. I don't want to watch this guy be a loser. That's where some shows like just know what you are. And it's like with bands, every now and then a band's like, well, this is our experimental album. It's like, why don't you experiment to being good again? That would be fun if you could be good again. Speaking of movies, I got a movie question for you.
Yeah.
Because you are the movie guy.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, you tell them about the cool show you run in Chicago monthly.
Well, if you're here in Chicago, the first Thursday, this is, by the way,
Even if you're not here in
this was
Chicago,
not a
get a plane
planned
ticket.
plug. Yeah, get a plane ticket. Joe will pay for it. You can just send him your Venmo, and he'll Venmo you. Yeah, there's a show I run. It's Brews and Bad Movies. It's the first Thursday
Brews
first
and
Thursday
Bad
of every
Movies.
month. At
Brews
the
is in
Lincoln Lodge.
alcohol. Brews, not
Alcohol,
like a
yeah.
bruise. Brews.
Brews, yeah.
Just making sure everyone knows.
BREWS.
And the audience gets to watch a bad movie that you edit down and make it go a little quicker.
Yeah.
And then the comedians will talk like a panel. They'll talk some shit about it.
Yeah.
And they actually comment. They talk while the movie's going on, like a mystery science theater thing.
Yeah.
It's very fun, everybody. I did it once, and I was told I was the best that's ever done it.
Mm-hmm.
So
And we've never said that to anybody.
only me was told this.
Right.
Only I.
Right.
Here's the question for you, movie boy. What is the dumbest movie that you have no problem admitting that you love?
Okay, so first off, every movie. So this is a really hard question for me because I like really, really love bad movies and I enjoy them and I like showing people those bad movies. But like when you say
Gun
that,
to head, you got to pick one.
well, when you say that, I was reminded. Okay, since you asked me that today, I saw a clip of Rookie of the Year.
The baseball
and
movie where-
that movie, I forgot. Like, I love I love that movie. We all did as kids, but like to me, it is like it affects me in ways that doesn't because I don't know if I ever told you this. I don't think I ever said in the podcast, but Gary Busey, the Rocket,
Yeah.
in that movie,
Chet Stedman.
at that time looked exactly like my dad. Like,
Oh, wow.
exactly. And like we would go in the airport and kids would be like, Rocket. Like they would stop for him and he would like sign autographs because he was just like, oh, sorry. Yeah. So when I see him be like that, when he's like, Stedman was his name?
Yeah, Chet Stedman.
Yeah. When the guy was like, you got to get off now. And he goes, give me one more. And he's like, no, you're done. He goes, give me one more. I cry because I'm like, my dad. It's like a weird, like,
Holy
because my dad
fuck,
passed
that's
away
kinda
like
sweet.
six years ago. So it's like a weird, like,
You watched that movie recently.
I saw that scene and I cried.
God.
I cried. Well, first I saw that because someone put it
I
as
didn't
like
know
a
you
me-
were such a pussy.
Someone said as a meme or someone said as a I know, right? No, I know. So what somebody put it, but I'm like, why am I crying about fucking Rookie of the Year? Gary Busey of all people. I have a special place in my heart for him. Like
He's great in that movie.
yeah, he's an incredible actor, you know?
That is the movie, though, that I remember loving as a child because it's, I grew up in Chicago. It's a
Yeah.
diehard Cubs fan. It's a kid who was maybe a little older than me when the movie that came
John
out.
Candy.
That John Candy's in, but he becomes a Chicago Cub.
Yeah.
And that's like, it was every kid's dream. Like, oh,
How many times were you like, somebody break my shoulder right
Yeah.
now? Break my elbow.
So for those of you who don't know, it's on Disney Plus. Rookie of the Year came out like 93. Yeah, it came out in 93 actually because it's the 30-year anniversary. And the actor,
That's why a lot of things are
Thomas
popping up
Ian
about it,
Nichols,
yeah.
was at Wrigley Field a few weeks back.
American Pie.
Yeah, he's in American Pie. He had a pretty solid career. I think he's in a band now or something.
Kid in Kid Arthur's Court.
But that's right. He tears like something in his arm that makes where he could throw like 102 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it's a bad movie though. It's
So
corny.
good.
It's not good. You don't think it's
like-
good?
I love it.
But
I
you
think it's
like
great.
bad movies.
I do. I love bad movies.
But most people would consider like that's what I mean by like a movie that you know is bad, but you love anyway. So that's a movie. But do you think it's bad?
No, I think it's heartwarming. I think
Oh
it's
well,
really
then
good.
this isn't the question for you.
No, but it is. I mean, it's not a good movie. You know, like it's a movie I shouldn't have an emotional attachment to.
That's fair,
Right.
but that's almost a different question, and it's a good. I love your
What's
answer.
your
by the way.
answer?
My answer is Boondock Saints.
That movie's terrible.
Yes, but I love it.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm looking for.
Because you're Irish. That's the most you answer I've ever heard in my life.
I didn't know it was bad until I got a little older. I saw it originally when I was like 18 or 19. And I just thought it was great because the high school I went to, it was friendly, but there was like an Irish-Italian rivalry.
Right.
A lot of my best friends were Italian and a lot of my best friends were Irish. And we were all a group. We all hung out every weekend together, but we would talk so much shit.
Yeah.
So when I heard about this movie where I'm like, oh, it's two Irish guys shooting up Italians and Russians too.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this movie doesn't even need dialogue. I'm gonna love it. This could just be a silent film. It's gonna be the greatest movie of all time for me. And it was, and I loved it. I thought Willem Dafoe's character was cool. I thought some of the plot stuff was cool. But then people were like, oh, this movie's horrible, dude.
I know.
Why do you like it?
Did
And
you
I'm
watch
like,
the second
what?
one?
No, I did not.
Don't.
And I heard it's horrible.
Yeah.
Because a friend of mine who loved
And
the
I
first
love
one
bad
too.
movies, yeah.
A friend of mine who loved the first one, he saw the second one and got back to me and was like, dude, you know how me and you were like the last two people who still admit to liking Boondock Saints? He's like, after seeing the second one, I don't think I'm gonna admit to liking the fucking
Yeah.
first one anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I still like the first one. I'll watch it around St. Patrick's Day, but I can admit it's not good.
Right.
And it took me a while because I remember seeing it like maybe 5-6 years ago. I watched it again and I was like, why does this not hold up? I think I
Yeah.
took like a couple year break from watching it.
Yeah.
And then I put it on around St. Patty's Day, and I was just like, "Oh, this is."
Doesn't that suck when you rewatch a movie? You're like, nah, this is still good, right?
That's another thing. What are
And then you show a friend it. Like I loved A Man Apart, which is in the early aughts. And
Mel Gibson? No, who's in that?
it's Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah, and it's just like it's I think it's an F. Gary Gary movie. I think I might be wrong about that, but Lorenzo Tate's in it. I just it's like a great action movie, and I love it. And every time, like as I've been older, like now I'm like since my 30s, I've like I love this movie. I try to show it, and people are always like, this is fucking bad. I'm like this movie's badass. It's sweet, and that's why I'm like, oh okay, I think I found the right girl because like. She's really into early aughts, like and late 90s movies. Like her like when she recalls.
Can you say early 2000s for me?
You hate early aughts?
Aughts just sounds weird, and I know you're
correct.
correct. I know it's correct.
Yeah,
you are right.
That pisses you off.
I just don't like the way it sounds.
Can I tell you what pisses me off? Is like if I have friends that are going to Milwaukee from Chicago and they go, I'm going to go down to Milwaukee. I go,
That
it's
pisses me
fucking
off.
up.
No, that
It
pisses
is
me off
up.
too. It's up.
It's up.
Why would you say, because it's so easy to be like, we're going to go up to Milwaukee for the weekend.
If I was going to California, how would I get there? I go over to California.
Yeah, you go over to California.
Go over to California. I'm going to go down to Florida.
Yeah, you go down. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's geographics.
Yeah.
Why would you say you're going down to a place that's north of
Would you say you're going up to Rockford or I'm going to skip up? You never say skip up. That's stupid.
I have to say, unfortunately, I have to travel to Rockford. That's why I say it's a
The
real
bike
sad
drugs in
occurrence.
Rockford. So we're trying to get this rental property, and when you do that, you have to think of an LLC, and I can't take that serious. So I'm like, what's a good LLC name? And then I was thinking like Patrick My Homes was like LLC.
Like Patrick Mahomes, but my
Yeah,
homes.
My Homes.
Yeah.
And then she was like, how about A Man Apartment? And I was like, that's fucking great. Like a man, it's
Yeah,
great.
like the movie you love.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to have someone. I think like you don't have to have the same musical tastes as your girlfriend or whoever you want to spend the rest of your life with. You don't have to have the same movie taste per se, but you have to have something like that
It's
that
nice.
connects you.
Yeah.
It's nice when it happens,
Or
but
if
it's
they're open
nice
to
to
it.
have a thing that the two of you are into, but no one else is into. Is kind of cool.
Oh, she fell asleep once, and then I was just like, "Oh, I'll watch the movie I want to watch." And I put on Long Kiss Goodnight, another great '90s, early aughts. It's just '90s. It's a '90s movie. Rennie Harlan directed it. It's where what is her fucking
Is
name?
Matthew McConaughey in that or no?
No,
I don't know this movie then.
it's great.
Val Kilmer,
No, it's who's in A League of Their Own? Who's the main star in that? The girl.
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis. It's where Gina
And
Davis
Samuel
has blonde
Jackson?
hair. Yes, and she's
Oh,
blonde
I
hair.
have seen
She's
that.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
she's so fucking
dude,
sexy. in it.
she's so hot. You know, she's like 6'1".
Oh, she's the sex. Like I've never.
Legs for days.
When I was in middle school and I watched it, and I was like, that is the sexiest girl I've ever seen in my fucking life. And she falls asleep. She like wakes up, and I'm watching it, and she looks up, and within a second, she goes, "Are you watching A Long Kiss Goodnight?" And I was like, "How the fuck
Oh, that's great.
is that your reference? How do you?"
That's nice. Yeah.
It's insane. You know, it's crazy when you like a movie that's so stupid that somebody else knows it immediately. You're like, "What's wrong with you? Like, why do you know this? Like, I'm an idiot. I was a dork as a fucking middle schooler."
No, I wouldn't have that thought. I'd just be like, "This is great.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk about this shit together."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's disappointing though too because you feel like a piece of shit when you have a movie you love and then you find out the majority of people don't think it's good.
What's
now,
the movie for you?
Well, like I said, Boondock Saints was that movie for a while, but then I almost got into a fight with a friend of mine because I said, I'm like, oh, the movie Snatch is awesome. It's
great.
And he didn't like it.
Like as a bitch.
Yeah, I agree, right? Is
Yeah.
that movie awesome?
It's great.
Fuck yeah, dude. Look at this. High five over
Fucking-
movies.
that guy's a
Those
fucking piece
80s
of shit,
villains.
dude.
Yeah, man. Piece
Yeah,
of shit.
yeah.
Dude, let's high five every time we make fun of anyone.
Yeah.
We got to do it in real life,
Yeah.
though, too, man. We got to keep this going. But no, it's a fucking fun. I like Guy Ritchie movies
Yeah.
for the most part. You
Seen
know
The
what I mean?
Gentleman yet?
I started watching, then I fell asleep.
good.
But I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's with Matthew McConaughey.
What's a movie that's like everyone holds near and dear to their heart, and that you're like, that's a piece of shit?
I don't have any. Oh, God. Remember that movie? Was it Moonlight or Moon something? It's not Moonlight Kingdom. It was like it won Best Picture when people remember they thought it was La La Land.
Yeah, yeah.
But it wasn't that. So
Moonlight, yeah.
it's Moonlight.
Yeah.
I thought that movie.
I was waiting for you to get like real weird with that because I was like,
I
so I was
just
gonna be like, now you seem a little racist,
dude.
'cause
No, I think it's overrated.
Really? I
It's
never
an
saw it.
overrated fucking movie.
That's the day my dad died. Is when that happened.
Really?
Yeah, and
Because he saw that movie. Killed
yeah,
himself
he killed
afterwards.
himself. Yeah, no, he killed himself because he liked La La Land more,
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
And imagine you were like,
and he
this
was like,
should
yeah, and then they said Moonlight, and he was fucking blew his brains
win
out.
instantly. And you
No.
thought,
But also, Bill Paxton died that same day.
oh man.
Yeah.
God,
So I
how,
almost
many, how many lives has that movie claimed?
yeah, right. I almost wrote on that day. It was like first Bill Paxton dies, then my dad, and now this whole La La Land thing. What a weird day! Like that was like the.
You should have wrote that. That'd been
I
pretty good.
know, but I only have 5 followers on Twitter. Wouldn't have gone far.
Like I thought that movie was like there was parts of it I liked, but I remember someone saying like it's like a poem came to life, and I'm like, guess what? I don't want to see a poem come to life.
yeah.
I appreciate poetry, and it has its times and shit like that. But that movie, all right, if you haven't seen Moonlight, everybody, it's confusing it shows this like young black boy, and by the way, that sounded racist. Didn't that sound so racist?
Yeah, I was like, ugh, race that.
Right?
Yeah.
So, let me start that again. It shows this young black kid.
Don't say the N-word. Okay.
Black kid sounds better, right? But
Yeah.
in my head, I'm like, he's a boy though. So I'd say boy for any other group. But so
A black youth.
how about it shows an 8-year-old black child?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. And the other kids are making fun of him and being dickish.
Yeah.
But you can't really figure out why. He's dressed like they are. Like he seems to fit the mold. Like, you know what I mean? He's not like out of place.
Right.
So I remember just being like, why are they giving this guy a hard fucking time? And then it goes on through high school. And then they make the subtle, and then it turns out like he's gay.
Right.
But the problem I had was he did nothing that was like obviously gay.
Right.
Obviously a gay kid, sadly, at that time in America or even anywhere you are now, it's still unfortunate, is going to get shit.
Yeah.
But
Especially in the black boy community.
yeah, but they didn't know I don't know how they knew he was gay. It's not like they showed him like
Right.
there was a movie Justin Timberlake was in where like the little boy was showing up to school in a pink tutu and was like, I like wearing a tutu. Why can't I dress like a ballerina to school, even though he was a boy, right? So that kid got his ass kicked and made fun of.
What movie is that?
I can't remember the name of it. Austin, you want to look up
Is
Justin?
it serious or funny?
No, it's serious. It's a drama. It's not
You know,
fun.
Alpha.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, Justin Timberlake's 20 in that. This Justin Timberlake is like a dad in this. He like becomes like a father.
Oh,
he
I do
becomes
know.
like a father
Yeah,
figure.
yeah,
to
I know
this
what you're
kid.
talking- I haven't
He's
seen
like
it, but
the
yeah,
kid's just
yeah.
his neighbor.
Yes, yeah.
But he looks out for the kid.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the kid was like eventually transgender or whatever.
Yeah.
But like this came out like 4 or 5 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, like they show that kid being humiliated, and you're like, it's terrible. He shouldn't be. But when you wear lipstick to school as an 8-year-old boy in Texas, where the fuck they were,
Yeah.
no offense, Texas, you're gonna get shit. But in this movie Moonlight,
Texas, no
they
offense,
never
man. Don't take
show-
offense to this, Texas.
I think it's like the last 4 years or so. Palmer. Yeah, that's what it's called. Palmer.
Oh.
That's the name of Justin Timberlake's character is Palmer. It was an Apple
Yeah,
TV movie?
yeah.
Okay. So, but in Moonlight, they never showed that. So I remember just being like, all right, I don't know why they just didn't as a story arc. Then the dude who's really great in a lot of stuff, who I think won an Oscar for it, he's in 12 minutes of the fucking movie. He is
Yeah.
in the movie Moonlight. I don't know.
He's an incredible actor.
When the movie was over, I remember being like, all right, that's good. But people told me it was mind blowing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it fucking wasn't.
Really?
You know, I don't know. Just what I thought. Was there any movie like that where everyone just thought was the greatest thing in the world, and you're like, "This is a piece of shit. You people
Forrest
are dumb."
Gump.
Really?
I fucking hate that movie.
People hate that movie now.
It's so bad.
I
I
don't-
hated it then.
I didn't hate it then.
Joe, look at me. I hated it then
Why?
because it's stupid and it's stupid. That's
Stupid
why.
is as stupid does, Jonah.
Yeah, and you know what movie is
Stupid isn't as stupid.
Well, that movie did stupid, and it's the movie stupid is.
No, for real.
Stupid.
You got to like.
I'll tell you what, because A, it's so goddamn unbelievable. I love Tom Hanks, and I thought it shot well, and I love Zemeckis too. And it's just, I watched a movie and I'm like, this is just bad. Why is everyone so loving this movie? I thought the dialogue's stupid. I thought the movie's retarded.
That's worse than what I said 5 minutes ago.
I know. It's just, I'm kidding. Obviously I don't mean that. It's just, I don't know. It's just something about the movie that I understand why people love it. I get it. I think it's like a very heartwarming movie. Also get that. I just watched it. I'm like, this movie's bad. I just didn't like it. Also, so I moved into a new building. There's 8 units in that building, and then I'm on a thread with them.
Oh God! Don't become
Thank you
friends
for
with your
saying
neighbors. Do not become friends with your neighbors.
Oh my! I always
Huge
wanted
mistake,
to. Well, first
everybody.
off, everyone's just like, "Oh, hey, squad, hey, hey, gang," and everyone's talking, and like all of a sudden we go, this, everyone's really nice, and I'm not trying to talk shit, but like one couple's like, "Oh, hey, we came back from a wedding reception or wedding party, whatever it is, engagement party, and we gave everybody like a little gift that we got, and it was like a s'more with their fucking photo on it, which is just like, I'm not gonna eat that. That doesn't seem healthy to me. And guess what their fucking names are?
What?
Forrest and Jenny.
Oh my God! Shut the fuck up.
I swear to God.
That's a crazy coincidence. On
I
that.
know, but you gotta you know
that they.
And if they're
love
watching
that
right
movie.
now, I'm so sorry. I haven't met you yet, and maybe you're very nice, but they're just like, they met each other and there's Forrest, and then that's the only thing that has kept the relationship going, is them being like, everybody loves this movie. It is so cute that we're named Forrest and Jenny. I know I look like a Dumbledore, and you're really hot, and it doesn't make any sense why we're
Is she really
together.
hot?
She looked pretty in it. And
most Jennies are kind of hot. You don't meet too many ugly Jennies.
oh, see, I don't think so. I
Really?
disagree with that.
I'm trying to
think
think.
they're half and half.
I'm going through the Jennies I've known, and most, not all. No, nobody's done all.
Okay, so I want to explore this.
We'll on next week's podcast, let's do a little teaser because I don't want to explore this right now. I want to do
don't?
our due diligence. We come up with a list of hot girl names.
Oh, I like
where
that.
in our real life we're
Yes.
like the most amount of women that I've seen.
And guys, let's
We
do
can
both.
do guys.
Let's
Sure,
do
yeah,
both.
we'll do both.
Okay.
Maybe we'll have a guest who could help, or maybe we'll just do 2 of us. We'll figure it out.
yeah.
But either way, little teaser for next week.
Okay. On next week's episode.
So you're talking about your neighbors. Could I?
Let's get done. Okay. So do you know of any other couples that where you're like, okay, I think they're only staying together because the story's cute. You know what I mean? The coincidence of Forrest and Jenny. They're like that,
That's why I guarantee if you do get to know them, they'll probably be like, yes, we get it all the time. But
you
then
think
they
he was
look
like,
at
I'm
each other
Forrest,
like, right?
and then she was like, my name's Remy, and then she goes, did you go with Jenny? Oh my God, it's like the movie. And then she's just been pretending her name's Jenny the whole time.
No, because they're married. They'll figure that out at some point.
You can change your name.
You can, but that's a little nuts. I think what happened was they started talking, and she was like, hi, I'm Jenny. He's going to be like, get the fuck out of here. My name is Forrest. And she's like, no, it's not. And he shows the ID, and then that was his in. Because like you said, she's
Right.
hotter than him.
Yeah.
But he was able to weasel that in, and then she just started to fall in love with that idea. He's probably got a pretty good personality. He's probably a little charming.
Yeah.
As a couple, though, they sound a little annoying.
Very.
And I just want to throw this out there. If they're listening, I'm sure you guys are great.
So great. I don't know you yet. You're probably fantastic.
I just don't. I'm friends with a couple neighbors, but I don't like it when you move somewhere. And I've had this in my life where all your neighbors expect you to become like buddies with them, because then you know what you have to do? You have to add another 5 minutes to your commute because you have to factor in your neighbors
They
chit-chatting with
never
you.
understand when you got somewhere to be.
They don't get
Especially
it.
you, because we have schedules outside the norm.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're just like, what do you mean you can't get coffee at 7 a.m?
Yeah.
And you're like, I go to bed at 5 a.m. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They're like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, no, that's my schedule. That's what I do. Because I do things you've never done in your whole entire life. I perform in front of people. I'm an artist. I'm the things that your girlfriend watches movies about that she's going to leave you for. And sorry.
No, I wanted you to keep going. I wanted us to add some inspirational underscore music for that. If we could find like a Hans Zimmerman or a John Williams score to put under, that'd be great. But yeah, I agree with you. And it always makes me think to myself, did these people not have friends before and they moved on the block? Right? Because if they move, I'm not, it's weird because I know there's people out there who's like, it's awesome being friends with your neighbor. You got like a drinking buddy who lives nearby you and all that. I'm just, if you get every now and then, I think you get lucky and you get a cool neighbor. I've had a couple cool neighbors in my life.
I've always wanted
but it's
that,
been natural.
Okay.
It's been a natural thing. I had this new neighbor, Jackie, when we lived in California. She was great. It was a natural friendship.
Nice.
When we'd walk in with our dog, my dog loved her, and then we just started chit-chatting. It wasn't forced. I don't like the forced shit.
This feels
You're on
so
a group
forced.
chat.
It's insane. Like they all think they're funny and cute, and then it's just like, it's insane. I will say that like girlfriend didn't like this, but I'm like, all right, we're gonna blow this up a little bit. And then because I had to get my AC replaced, so then I was like, sorry if there's a noise, like the AC. I have to be like, oh, sorry guys, hey, like, oh, gee, golly gosh, like, because I'm trying, because I just like, I've had all my neighbors call the cops on me before because I'm too loud because I have these get-togethers. So I'm like, I don't want to do it with these people. I'm doing these
ragers,
renovations.
dude.
I have ragers, yeah. They're insane, and I'm 40, and so it's like. So like I'm trying to be like whatever, and then they're like, "Oh, if you know somebody, it's great. Like we have a good plumber, we have a good AC guy." I'm like, "Well, the AC's taken care of, but please send me your plumber thing because my girlfriend loves to take huge poops." And that's how it ended. And then you could tell people were like, "Oh."
Nobody laughed.
Nobody laughed because they were like, they're like,
That's the worst, man.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that. I've gotten into new group chats with people I don't know that well, like through work and stuff,
Yeah.
and I've dropped the occasional joke. And then like it goes flat and no one says anything. And you're just like, you fucks.
Yeah.
You know that's funny, but nobody wants to be the first to laugh.
"Oh, I pushed it for a long time."
Yeah, but it's not like an HR. You're not,
Yeah.
you're a group of neighbors,
Right.
right? Damn. I would slowly fade from that group chat. I almost got sucked into a group chat I didn't want to be part of. I just never, ever responded.
Dude, so girlfriend was like, "I'm gonna become part. You know what my next goal is?" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "I'm gonna be head of the HOA, and I'm gonna fucking blow shit up in this house. Like you have no fucking idea." She's like, I'm in my villain era, and people are gonna fucking know." And I was like, "Oh man, that's great. I love it." It scared me, and I can't break up with her because I'll die. But
Turn you on a little bit too, huh?
did big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, I could see that.
But I've always wanted like I have always wanted like a sitcom house, and I almost had that. So a mutual
What's
friend
your
of ours,
favorite? Here's a good one. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
quick. This is really quick. A mutual friend of ours, Curtis, was him and his fiance at the time wanted to move in, and then I used to live in this like 5-unit building, and my neighbors I was friends with the neighbor next door, who's like an older, kind of kooky but nice guy, downstairs, and the across the way moved out, and they were gonna move into that spot. And then when I went down to like meet them there, they ended up not liking it, but meet them there, this really I mean gorgeous girl like walked out of looking at the other place, and I was like, oh my god, like how great. I'm like, I finally have this sitcom house where like I'm best friends with people downstairs, and the whole time I'm gonna be like, I don't know if she likes me, I don't know what's going on. There's this whole like will they, won't
Trying
they
to fuck
thing.
your neighbor, yeah.
Yeah, and then she walks in and she's just like, does he like me? Does he not? I'm like, I think I'm getting those vibes, but I don't really know. I'm like seeing this guy, he's like a Wall Street guy, he's kind of a dick, and like this guy's like an artist, and I don't know how I feel about that. And like, you know what I mean? Like this whole like, I wanted that, and then it never happened.
I was going to ask you if you could live in any sitcom house, which house would it be?
Ooh, good question.
Right?
Ooh,
There's a lot of good ones.
do you go drama? Do you go like Melrose Place?
I mean, you just go.
Or do you go like Friends?
See,
Like
I'm
across the
looking
neighbors?
I'm looking at more like the living situation. Melrose Place, those were just like average apartments, but the drama was good there because it was
Right.
like a bunch of young hot singles.
Yeah.
But I'm looking more like that house was just cool. I want to live in that house. The thing is, a lot of the sitcoms in the late 80s and through the whole 90s, they always had the one feature that you rarely see in real life. And that's
Cool.
the house with 2 staircases.
Right. That kind of goes up. And
Yeah, like Full House. Remember, they'd go up the one way
Oh,
and
I
then
see
they'd
what
come
you're
back down
saying.
the other
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
It's that you don't see that too often in real
No,
life.
no.
And I know people with multi-million dollar houses, and they don't even have that feature.
Yeah.
It's a cool feature you just don't see enough of.
What's your answer to that?
All right, so if I had to pick one sitcom house where I'm like, I'll do one from my eyes as a kid,
Yeah.
and then one from my thoughts as an adult.
Okay.
Okay. As a kid, one sitcom house for sure where I'm like, oh, dude, that house is just too fucking cool. Would have to be Webster. Do you remember the show Webster?
Of course, yeah.
Webster had a couple like hidden passageways.
So
Right.
are we saying house or are we saying like living situation with other people?
I'm saying like the house that I could just live in, get rid of all the other characters. I'm not talking about living situation.
Okay. So mine
I
would
was
be,
talking
mine,
living
okay.
situation.
So my answer is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh yeah, great house.
Great house, and then they also had the pool house.
Yeah.
Right.
So they had a
Yeah.
pool, and then he gets to just go fuck off in the pool house,
Yeah.
which is great because that means Will Smith gets to bring back. This is when he was cool. Will
Honeys,
Smith.
he would say.
He would call them the honeys.
Yeah.
And then you could just sneak them back out, right?
Yeah.
Or you could do some naked fucking in a pool. You ever
Right.
had sex in a pool before?
Yeah.
You pull out, and then when you ejaculate, the sperm just go everywhere because they're like, we're fucking, this is what we want to be in. We get to swim. This is how my sperm swims. They do a little bit of this. They're like, my sperm, when they swim, they look like the gopher at the end of Caddyshack. It's like, kind of do that little hip thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but if I was an adult, where would I want to live as an adult? By myself or with my family? With my family, Fresh Prince.
Do you think your sperm ran away like that because they're so happy to be outside of your body because you scared them so much?
No,
Or
man.
just was
My sperm, I would talk to. If anyone out there, if you're trying to get, if you're going to get someone pregnant, right? Some people
It'd be
struggle
funny or
with
is this true?
I'll maybe let me talk and then we can decide.
Okay.
If you're trying to get your wife pregnant or just anyone pregnant, right? Some people have struggles, right? I was fortunate, but I think I was fortunate because I gave my testicles a pep talk, and I said, "Hey,
Did you warm up
hey."
like a fire?
You know, I did. Well, I did, of course. You know, I treated them right. I kind of plopped them up a little bit,
Right.
and I looked at them and I said, "Hey, pay attention. Listen to me." And then they're kind of like, "Oh, what is it, Dad?" We got work to do. Okay, there is a mission, and we need to achieve this mission. Okay, I'm gonna be standing on a ship with mission accomplished behind me. All right, you take no fucking prisoners. Okay, anything gets in your way, you're crushing that shit. All right, we are the 85 Bears on defense, but we're playing offense. All right, we're gonna run through people. We are gonna outsmart. We are gonna outwit. All right, there is no I in sperm. Okay, this is a team game.
There's
a
a
team
me
effort.
in there though.
There is a me in sperm.
Yeah.
That is correct. You have to rotate a little bit to get the letters, but the me is there because the sperm. There's no I in sperm, but once the sperm accomplishes, they turn into a me.
It's me.
Right? It turns into me. That's just how it goes. So yeah, you really gotta, you gotta warm them up. You talk to them. You tell them, hey, let's not fuck around. So when my sperm came shooting out of me, they're like, let's fucking do this. They had helmets on.
Yeah.
Right. They had been working out all week. They had
Right.
they had veins popping out of them, and you're like,
Right.
sperm doesn't have veins. Mine did.
Yeah.
Right. And they were ready to clock in and get shit done. They were
Yeah.
doing like, it was like a corporate takeover. It was like a military industrial complex shooting out of my nuts.
Right.
And they was ready to get to work. They're ready
like
to create
Succession
life.
coming out there.
Ready
Right?
to create
Yeah.
life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Billion, Succession, every show where you're just like,
When
how can these people be so greedy? Those were my testicles.
When you shot your shot, you're like, that's a swoosh. Did you know that? Did you tell?
I
Because
think
you planned, right?
Yes, they're very planned.
Yeah.
So after I did what I did, my first thought was that was really fun. I should have been doing that the whole time.
Right.
But then I wasn't ready for children.
Yeah.
Real quick, coming in someone on purpose, loads of fun, literally. Loads. Get how I did that? Okay.
Guys,
so
this has been the season finale, series finale.
no, yeah, we planned it out, and luckily it worked out great. I didn't have any catchphrases. I think what I did was I left the room with the Jordan fist pump after I just hit the game-winning shot.
Oh, yeah.
No
Yeah,
words. I just walked out and I did a fist pump.
Yeah. Did you do the Undertaker like thing at the end there?
No, I kept it to basketball. I was classy. I didn't want to overly celebrate. You know
Right,
what I
'cause
mean?
you don't-
It
you don't wanna
wasn't-
confuse them.
I wanted to act like I've done it before.
Yeah.
So that's how I did it. You know what I mean?
That's great.
And on the second child, I said, well, I patted the belly and said, I'll see you in 9 months. You know?
Mhm.
That's how you got to do things.
Right.
How would you do it? What would you say after?
This is me.
Inseminating.
This is me. Like, you're a bunch of fucking losers. Don't fucking impregnate this woman because we don't want kids. For the love of fucking God, don't do it. For the love of God. For the love of God. For the love of God.
So you've talked to
Think
your
about
sperm
Forrest
the
Gump.
other
Do you
way.
want another Forrest Gump out there? You want another Forrest Gump out there? Like,
If I could go back to the Forrest Gump thing,
Yeah.
People like that movie because it was the right amount of ridiculous. In the sense that I remember seeing that movie being like, it's crazy. All of those things happened to one person who clearly had issues. He was, like 80 on his IQ. He was,
yeah,
a
he's
slow
simple
person.
man, as they say.
Yes, exactly. And it was enough stuff that was plausible and in a fun way where his life was the backdrop of history. That's why I
Yeah.
think people our parents' age love that movie so much, and the people who vote for Oscars,
Nostalgia for
that was
them.
their age group, where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, he becomes a football player, but he doesn't know anything about football, but he's super fast.
Right.
He became fast after the braces, right? Which is like kind of like the
He's
movie-
overcame, like, yeah,
he
everything that you think would
overcame
hold him
things.
back. Yeah, yeah.
And then there was enough of weirdness where it's like, all right, of course he'd be a good soldier because he can only follow orders. That's all he can do.
Right.
Right. And then he saves everyone because he's fast. He picks them up and runs away with them and just keeps
Right.
running and running and running. And then he ping pong. He picks up ping pong of all things. It was like they didn't
You say
do
ping pong like I say ping pong, and I always
Ping
get made
pong.
fun of saying ping pong like that.
ping pong. How
Ping
else you say?
pong, because we're like we're accenting the ping pong, like it's like like we're really pushing the. There's a restaurant on the north side of Chicago called Ping Pong, and I always tell my girlfriend, "We go to Ping Pong," and she goes, "Why are you saying ping pong like that?" And I go, "I don't know. I'm saying ping pong. What's wrong with me saying ping pong?" And you're saying ping pong just like that.
Ping pong.
Ping pong.
I feel like you are dialing it up a little bit.
I don't think so. Tell me you're not saying it.
Ping pong.
Ping pong.
Hey, you want to play some ping pong?
Ping pong.
You have to say it like that.
Yeah, like ping pong.
How would you say like
Ping pong?
ping pong?
Pam pong.
Pong ping?
Ping pong.
Ping pong?
You know what's crazy about the owner of the ping pong? Is that the owner of ping pong was there for January 6th. And I'm trying to convince my girlfriend.
Yes, they opened up a second location on Irving. I read about them.
They did. Also, who would think that the owner of an Asian restaurant called Ping Pong would,
be a big
actually
Trump
it makes more
supporter.
sense than it does anything else. That actually makes more sense than anything. It's probably a white dude who's just like, just call it ping pong. I don't fucking know.
I think we have to soften up our P's. So I'm trying to think to myself,
ping
all right,
pong.
say I'm going out for an audition. I got to play a role of a guy. He's hanging out at the bar with his friend. He's like, dude, I don't know, man. Let's not talk about her. You got to get over her, buddy. Hey, let's play a little ping pong.
Yeah.
See how I was softer on the
Little
P's.
ping
Let's
pong, yeah.
play a little ping pong.
If I was your friend, I'm like, you want to play ping pong?
You say it. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Is there
My
a woman
girlfriend
in
broke
ping
up and you
pong?
want to fucking play ping pong right now?
I would say no.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah. If I said
Yeah,
it like,
Joe, my girlfriend of 8 years breaks up with me. I don't play fucking ping pong right now.
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you with a paddle, huh?
Yeah. You like that?
I'll make you know how my heart feels right now. That's how your fucking face is gonna feel like with the
right.
goddamn
Yeah.
paddle.
Your face is gonna feel like pong ping in there, motherfucker.
But if I say it this way, I'm like, dude, I know you're hurting right now, but like, I think you just got to start to move on, man. She's made her decision. You're gonna be better off. You
Right.
trust me. This is gonna be the best thing that's ever happened to you. And you're gonna be like, all right, I think you're right. I know I'm right. Let's go play some ping pong.
Yeah, there you go.
See?
Yeah.
So I said it a little differently.
What if you
We were both saying it way too.
Yeah. Convince me that I'm the greatest ping pong player you've ever seen in your life.
All right. So all right, here we go.
Action.
Hey, what's up, dude? Dude, you're not gonna play Jonah in ping pong. This is the greatest ping pong player I've ever seen. There is something
Let's
about
get
like,
strong. Yeah, it is in
ping
there.
pong.
What's your
you
thoughts?
want to ping pong with this motherfucker? Oh, he's gonna ping your pong
Okay.
up and down the block.
People are just like, this seems awkward. I gotta go. And
Yeah.
you're like, no, play this motherfucker in ping pong.
I want to go to a bar now with you
Yeah.
sometime this week that has a ping pong table, and Streeters has a ping pong table. We'll
Yeah.
go there and be like, hey,
Hey,
who's the best ping pong player here? Put your fucking money on the ping pong
Yeah.
table. You know, one of those things.
okay. So, what's your thoughts on your favorite restaurant that you love, and all of a sudden, found out there January 6th? Do you go? Do you not go?
How good's this food? You know, it's my favorite restaurant. It's great.
Enjoyable.
It's really good. I don't know. I think I would. I don't know. It's hard to support an insurrection.
I know.
You know, I don't care. Like if they were just like a regular,
But they believe in
if they
how
just-
this. They believe in something so much they're willing to put all costs onto it. So if
respectable.
you've had that feeling towards your stupid fucking ideas, you're gonna have that feeling towards your food.
Yeah, so that's probably some high quality shit right there.
Right.
Well, I look at it this way. Like I don't give a fuck about the political affiliations of the restaurants I go to, unless I
Right.
feel like they're going out of their way to just be shitty or deny someone. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
I always feel bad for the people that like serve there. It's not their fault.
yeah,
The
exactly. Some
owner's a
people
piece
need
of
jobs
shit.
and stuff like that. But it depends how much of a piece of shit their owner is.
Right.
If they're just like,
Also,
they-
you know, it's a good thing. There's gonna be open reservations now.
that's a good point. 'Cause a lot of people are gonna be like, "Fuck off with this guy," right? And now
Yeah.
you could get a table real easy.
Yeah.
That I appreciate because you know I hate a wait.
You hate a wait.
I hate a wait.
Hey to wait.
It depends what they fucking believe in, though. If they're running around spewing hate speech and shit like that, then
I
yeah,
know.
go fuck off. But if they're just like,
Maybe they went there because they thought it'd be like a cool hang.
maybe they just heard it was gonna be a good party.
Right.
You know what I mean? If someone told me, hey, we're going streaking through the quad into the gymnasium, like in the movie Old School,
How are you not into movies?
right?
Yeah, I feel like I need to do that.
I'd be all about it. But maybe
they-
that's what they thought. They thought, hey, you know what we're gonna
Dude.
do? We're going to DC and we're gonna fucking rush the Capitol. And they might think like, is that like fucking running with the Bulls in Spain? Maybe
Yeah.
that they thought it was gonna be like a fun little treat like that. But like I was saying before, if someone just disagrees with me like on policy that's not like affecting someone's lives, where I'm like, oh, well, I think we should do this with their tax dollars, but they think they should do something else with tax dollars. Yeah, I could get along with you.
Right.
But if you think gay people cause hurricanes, I'm gonna be like, all right, you're a piece of shit. Like just, you know, because if you're spewing hate.
Could you imagine if you actually thought that? Like,
Dude, there are people out there when something bad happens to a town like New Orleans,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, about what 15 years ago now, it feels like
New
Katrina was
Orleans or
forever.
New Orleans?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
I say New Orleans normally,
Yeah.
but that time I said New Orleans.
Yeah,
I
you
don't know
said
why.
New Orleans.
I don't know why, man.
Yeah.
It's just the way I'm speaking these days. So if someone like whenever there's like a tornado hits well, actually they don't do it with tornadoes. They did it with the hurricane in New Orleans,
Right.
where they were like, that happened because it's God mad at them for all the fucking sin that goes on down there and the French Quarter and all that shit. But whenever a tornado hits a small town in God's country, I never hear them being like, Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. There's just a lot of people with fucking hate in their hearts, and those people that could go fuck themselves. I can't deal with that. I don't like the hypocritical nature of it too. I knew this one guy who remember when everyone was doing like the pink equal sign for like gay marriage. Have I talked about this?
No,
I
it's like
did.
that. Now we're hitting the P's really high.
Are we?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just thought about
The pink equals what now?
these pink equal signs. Did I say
Yeah.
pink too hard? So they had the pink equal signs. I remember this one dude put up like a cross saying, "Sorry, I believe in traditional marriage." And someone's just like, "Why? What are you against gay marriage?" He's like, "Sorry, I just follow the Bible." And he kept just being like, "Sorry." He said sorry to every comment that because people were like a little annoyed with him.
Yeah.
He's like, "Sorry." And when he said sorry, I follow the Bible. I was this close to being like, "Well, he's not married, so I should call him a virgin." I'm like, "You're a virgin, right?"
Yeah.
And he's gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" And be like, "So you follow the
Oh,
Bible?"
yeah.
So the Bible's against sex before marriage. So you're telling everyone right now you've never had sex. He's like, "Well, no." And then I'm like, "Well, there you go. Then you just pick and choose what parts you want to follow, and that kind of thing."
guy
But
killed himself
then
right
again, man, if they got some killer dumplings, I'll fucking ignore all that shit.
Right?
No, I'm kidding. But I did used to say to people we talked about Michael Jackson recently, and someone's like, "Oh, dude, I think he's a molester," and other people, "No, he's fucking. It's all set up. It's all bullshit." And I thought to myself, regardless, the album Thriller didn't molest any children.
Yeah.
The actual recordings didn't do anything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's that was his second album. I think if he did do anything, it was after Thriller. So I think it's still okay to listen to Thriller.
Well, Bad's pretty good, but
Bad's great.
Yeah.
But there are some telling things in that. I was talking about this.
it's called Michael Jackson's Bad.
Well, he's saying, "I'm bad. I know it." And then what's the one song? "I'm talking to the man in the mirror. I'm asking him
Yeah.
to change his ways." Like
Yeah,
I've talked about this before with some people. There's some shit where you're like, yeah. But dude, I still love MJ. I
Okay.
do. He's just one of the greatest artists of all time.
He's incredible. So I also think R. Kelly's a great artist. So
Dude, Remix to Ignition is fantastic.
So my question to you is this. I was at lunch outside at a patio, obviously, and someone was blasting R. Kelly, and I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. And like it's in Chicago, and then he drives past, and then I realized, oh no, that's a song featuring R. Kelly. Is that like kind of like a little leeway? Can we can't blast R. Kelly songs anymore.
No, it's not a good look to
Understandable.
blast an R. Kelly song.
But
I'll agree with that.
Can you blast a song that's featuring R. Kelly?
I think if the people who would hear the song and be like, "Hey, how dare you put a fucking R. Kelly song on for all of us to hear it?" And
Yeah.
that person was like, "Hey, asshole, he's only featured.
Yeah.
All right, I did my due diligence. I thought about it.
Yeah.
He's got 3 verses. What the fuck?
Right.
Right? Like if that scenario ever existed where people on the street are yelling at the driver who's blasting that song,
Right.
then we're fucked a lot of other ways.
How about this?
And
What
to be fun with it, I know you're just looking for me to yes and you and to fuck around with it a little bit. I would say that's probably okay.
You think so?
I don't
think so
know.
too.
Like, what? It's just one of those things where
His music's so good. So how do we fix this problem?
crime bad crime. He did a terrible thing.
Oh, he's a piece of shit. Fuck
Good
him.
song.
Oh my god! Did you ever listen to that documentary with him on it? Watch it? Sorry,
No, I didn't want to
even
see
listen
it.
to it. It's fucking
I heard it was,
terrifying.
dude. He's a piece of shit.
What a piece of
He's
shit.
a horrible person.
Yeah, but his music's so good. So it's like,
That's the
how do we
dilemma,
fix
man.
this? Right? Can we hire like?
Can you separate art from the artist?
Yeah, can you do that? But also, let's say you can't, but can you still make that art? Can we hire somebody like Ray J and have him just redo all of R. Kelly's songs?
Well, the argument there would be if he wrote the song, which I don't know if R. Kelly wrote his own stuff, but if he wrote the song, he will get money still. So
Yeah.
the reason so many people are like when you find out someone's a horrible piece of shit, right?
Right.
Like in our industry, Chris D'Elia.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's something going on. There's
Something
just
going
so much smoke with that.
Yeah.
Right. Like how many 16-year-olds are going to come out being like, "Look at my DMs from him. What the
Yeah,
fuck?" Right.
yeah.
Something's going on there.
Hey, can you still save?
Oh, you're
messages?
talking about the thing he fucking did?
Yeah, can you still save messages?
Snapchats. It
Can you
was
still
Snapchat.
save Can you still save Snapchat? Show?
I don't know. I'm not on Snap. I don't really
do you
go on
think?
Snapchat. Just yes. Oh yeah, there you go. Here, start it over. Start it over again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dude, for you?
Yeah, do the whole scene again.
Oh yeah. Hey, speaking of Chris D'Elia, you can't still save Snapchats, right? That's still not a thing, right?
No, you can save them.
Okay, we just recreated.
Just for everyone listening on the audio, we're reenacting.
Yeah.
There's a famous clip of Chris D'Elia when he was like, "Oh, but it's a Snapchat; those go away," and people are like, "No, you can
No,
screenshot them." And immediately his face has this look like,
Oh shit!
Fuck.
Fuck.
He
Also, you
couldn't
have a
have made
camera
it.
on you, dumbass.
Yeah, he was on the Fighter and the Kids podcast, that one with Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub, and you could just see the look on his face where he's like, oh, I
love
I'm
that.
so fucked right now. But like, so that guy, and there's people, so a lot of people say shit like with music or whatever, you're like, you're supporting financially the behavior of these scumbags.
I could see that.
Right? And they
Yeah.
shouldn't have this platform anymore. They shouldn't be growing their audience and making money when they've done so many horrible things to people that they're most likely going to get away with because of their power, right? That's all. So I get all that shit. But so I look at it like, yeah, I understand that.
So
but
good.
fuck, it's a good song.
Yeah, Remix Ignition.
And then
come
people
on.
tell you there's other good
I
songs
do
out
believe
there.
I can fly.
I think there has to be a certain amount of time goes by.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. It's fucking tough, man. I know I personally wouldn't start blasting any R. Kelly songs, and it depends what the crime is. I've always been the believer of this. Rape or murder, you're fucking done.
Right.
You should be, and it's not cancel culture, it should be convict culture. You should be fucking in jail, right? Fuck the
Yeah.
word cancel. I hate that word. And, but it also depends the crime, right? There are some stuff where I'm like John Lennon, they said hit his first wife. But do you know how people found that out? He
Careful,
told them.
counselor.
No, hold on.
Careful,
Don't do your,
counselor.
by the way, Paul sings Yesterday if you want to get your fucking little Yesterday joke in. But I looked
wasn't
at it
doing
this
that.
way. And it's not like I was looking for a reason to stick out for John Lennon, but I do believe that there's not enough empathy. When I hear about people doing bad shit, I want to know their history. I want to know
Right.
why they're doing
Right.
whatever. I'll give you a quick example. I heard of, I could tell, I think I could tell this because I'm going to be vague. I'm not going to use any names, but there was this kid I heard, my friend was a teacher, and he told me about this kid that was acting out a lot.
What
and
was
he
the
was,
kid's name?
and the kid, he was just acting out a lot, and he was just like, why is this kid such a fucking asshole? And it was his first year teaching.
Right.
And then another teacher told him, oh, by the way, over the summer, this kid who was like 8 or 9 lost both of his parents in a car accident. And so then right away he was like, I'm going to let this kid be an asshole all school year.
Right.
Which I don't blame him for, because it's like, you know what, this kid's got a lot of shit he's got to
gonna
work
act
out.
out. Yeah.
He's going to act out, and he's got the right to act out because the world fucked him over.
Right.
Right. And so like, that's why I'm like, I need to know people's backstories.
Right.
I don't like the quick to judgment. But if you rape or murder, I don't need to know your backstory. You're a piece of shit.
Right.
And you should be fucking, you should be
Right.
erased.
Right.
So with the John Lennon thing, 'cause I remember people being like, oh, he was a real piece of shit. So I kind of like Googled it around. People found out John Lennon hit his first wife, Cynthia, because he told the world. So I'm like, all right, well, he owned it, said he was a terrible husband, said he was a piece of shit of a guy,
Right.
said he had jealousy, said he had rage, said all this. I'm like, so that's atonement, right? She had kind of forgiven him, Cynthia. She wrote a book, later talked about it. And again, I'm not condoning that. But when you think about it, John Lennon at the age of 23 was literally at that point the most famous person on the planet. And you could argue him almost one of the most famous people in the history of the world up to that point. At the age of
Right.
fucking 23.
Right.
He grew up, his mom died when he was a teenager after he'd just gotten reunited with her because she had like some mental health problems, and she came back into his life. Dies, like gets hit by a car and dies. His parents, his father was always gone. When his parents were 5 years old, they like asked him to choose. Imagine asking a 5-year-old choose between mommy and daddy.
Right.
That like fucked him up. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, of course.
So he had a lot of, and then his uncle that like he was raised by his aunt and uncle. His uncle ended up dying. His uncle who got him into music. So he had a lot of shit to be angry about. Then all of a sudden he becomes the most famous person in the world. So what I'm saying is, have his fucking dinner ready. You're gonna get hit. You know what I mean? No, I'm obviously I'm fucking around.
You
But
made your
it's
case
like,
so well. I was like, yeah, hit that bitch, dude. What the fuck? Shut up. Shut up.
obviously don't hit people, but it's like, I'm not going to let that one thing make me be like, you know what? I never want to hear Come Together or Ticket to Ride or Instant Karma again. Yesterday he gets a co-songwriting credit because Paul McCartney and John Lennon had a thing where they had a songwriting partnership where every song that they did together, even if they didn't do it together.
Right.
So like the first few years of the Beatles, they actually sat down and wrote together. But then after like the second half of the Beatles, they just wrote songs. Man, here's a song I wrote, and then that was it. It's a little fun fact about the Beatles. It's going to turn into a Beatles podcast again, but like you're going to keep making that joke, and I'm going to power through it this time.
Yeah, I know, I'm done.
And I'm just going to, every time you do the yesterday joke, I'm going to be like, here's another fun fact about the Beatles.
Yeah.
They overtook Elvis Presley in sales, and it was a really big deal at the time, blah, 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 blah. Anyhow, Jonah, how does it feel to be back? Does it feel good to be back?
I think it feels fantastic to be back.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Hello.
I changed my mind. I think it's terrible that we're back.
I can't sing. I wish I could. That's a song from God. Who the fuck sung that song? There was a song. There was a song where the guy would open with "It's good to be back." It's
Joe,
good to
Joe,
be
you're
back.
interrupting your own fucking self right now.
I am.
Why
I
are you
can't think of the
interrupting
name of the
yourself
song
right now?
cannot
You know,
think of
like
it.
we're trying to do a fucking podcast right now, and you're interrupting your own fucking self. Why don't you just keep fucking? That's a callback from season 1.
There you go. And it's also funny because I'm doing it at the end of the podcast. I have a part where it's not a clip. I only got mad when I'm like, you were working towards a clip and then you interrupt yourself. I'm like, well, there goes that clip.
Yeah.
Jonah, you were 85% towards a clip. But hey, man, you did a great job today.
you, buddy.
You didn't interrupt yourself at all.
Oh, thanks.
Man, have you been studying?
Yeah, I've been studying a lot. Yeah.
Um,
I've been watching back the old tapes.
I still would put good money that you've never listened to a full episode of this podcast.
Oh, I hate my voice and I hate the way I look.
You're a handsome fuck. Stop doing that. All right, everybody. This has been Let's Get Dumb. Well, we are back. Season 2, episode
Season
1.
2.
I hope you've enjoyed it. Tell your friends and family. Bring the whole family around the computer. Hit play. You guys all get to sit there with popcorn and watch. Subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah.
Subscribe on wherever you get your podcast. We appreciate you. For Jonah Jerkins, I'm Joe
Give us
Kilgallen.
a review too.
Yeah, reviews.
Review.
Is that still a thing? Do people still review podcasts?
Of course, yeah. Please
reviews
us.
help.
That
Review us.
help us out. Like, write into us if you have any questions. We'll love to.
Yeah,
talk
we're thinking
it.
about doing a thing where people could submit dumb questions.
Yeah.
And then we'll answer them and we'll have some fun with that.
Yeah. We want to hear from you guys.
All right.
Bye now.